Hello everyone, I'm Caroline.
And I'm Phil.
Welcome to our happy hour. And it's lovely to see so many of you in the chat already.
Indeed.
We need to be checking who are the first three in because I'm starting to forget that every week. So we're going to go straight up and see who are the first three in. So I'll go to the top of my chat and first in was Bonnie Tyler Fan 34. Well done. Ooh. Second place was Laura Lakefrog. And in third place was Jen W, who just beat Andrea, but nearly got there. Maybe next week. So lovely of you all to be in and chatting. And I know we have an extra resident in the UK at the moment.
Yes.
Well, actually, we have three extra residents in the UK.
In fact, we may have more. We may have more, but there are at least
we know that at least three extra residents.
Three we know of, because those who were on the Facebook group, you may have seen one of the latest posts that come in on there was from Beata, and that was pictures of arriving at the port of Dover.
Yes.
And then beautiful shots, lovely images out from the back of the bed and breakfast hotel that she's staying at, looking out towards, I believe, the Thames Estuary.
Yes, very nice.
But looking.
So welcome to the UK.
Nice,
and we also have
Anne and Jason.
Anne and Jason are in the UK too. They're at the A show, so
they may be with us tonight. They said they're hoping to be back.
Don't think they're in yet.
They're up at the A show, which is just above Swindon, about an hour and a half from where we live in Wales. Cross the border into England, up the M4, turn left. There's a big A show up there, and they are over for that. So there we are. We've got folks a little bit closer than they usually would be. But of course, we're all together, wherever you happen to be located at this moment in time, whatever your time zone is. We're all together now, whether it's breakfast time or, as it is here, getting on for supper time.
It is starting to get dark. I'm going to put a complaint in because I like it being light at the beginning of the live show. I don't like it the dark nights, and already you can tell it has been stormy, so that doesn't help.
Yes.
The rain today has been unbelievable.
I know. I was reading Christina's comment. She said, been showery here today. Been showery there. We've had monsoons.
Oh, it's been really bad. It looked like snow. There was so much. It was drifting sideways. Well, poor old Ed, you fell victim to it, didn't you? You got a good soaking, and Ed is about 45 minutes away from us, and it's been pretty rough all over the valley.
Ed ended up in the shop paying for his bread with wet pound coins because he had a pool of water in his pocket. He said, so much for being a raincoat.
There we go. Anne and Jason are in. So, it sounds like you enjoyed the show.
Oh, that's great.
Good news. I hope you think it was worth travelling over for. Sounds like you do think so.
And I hope you're getting the better of the weather, because in between, as Christina was saying, in between the showers, and the showers here have been awesome and heavy, but in between then the sun shines. But any moment, whoosh, it all comes down again. In fact, we got back from Hastings on Thursday so that I could go to work on Friday. And these days, more often than not, significantly more often than not, I'm working indoors because most people use crematoriums. But this week, just my luck, it was a graveside and I was stood there.
It was bad.
And I just turned to the undertaker as he stood there holding an umbrella over me, and I said, someone just turned the tap on. It went from rain to just full pressure hose.
Yeah.
Felt like the firefighters had come out and soaking us. In fact, one chap that was there, I walked him down under my umbrella and he said, I'm heading home. He said, I've got to change my trousers. These are made of wool and they've soaked all the water up.
Wet trousers are horrible.
So yeah, it's a mixed bag, but I'm glad the air show's going well, and I'm glad you're having a good time there.
Yeah, Dar said, oh, new panda babies. This is a panda that Lexi made. She's very clever. She felted that out of wool.
Yeah.
And this is one from Bielefeld.
Yes.
And it's a vampire bat, I think.
Yeah, that came in our bag of goodies, wasn't it? We had goodies. We had edibles.
Is that thunder?
No, that's the...
I'm thinking that's a very long rumble of thunder.
Printer shutting down,
Right. So that's what they are. And they're joining the other pandas. They fancy a bit of stardom tonight.
Yeah. This is our studio. This is where we've done all our recordings for a number of years. It's also Timbo's office space. It's also Caroline's office space. And it's also where the settee is that I sit on when I feel like using office space, because I use my laptop on the settee. So normally that would have shut down earlier, but I printed so late tonight that...
It's not like you to be running late.
I know, it's just not like me at all, is it? It's just not like me at all. But no, it's been lovely. It's been lovely going through the pictures and the comments on Facebook. I'll share a few of those, a few of the comments and things. One of the things that have been shared this time have been some lovely images of flowers. Seeing the flowers outside Beata's room, I was thinking of Ellen put up stargazer lilies.
Oh, they're lovely.
She said, yeah, they are, but she says she's getting overtaken. She's got loads this time. And I think it was Glenda did blue columbines. Is that right? Blue columbines. They were lovely too.
Beata said it's the bat from our castle.
There we go.
You know me in my memory.
Yeah.
You probably did tell me, and everything goes...
And that's why he's wearing his little castle bib.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's very cute. I'm not frightened of him at all.
Max's dad now works in a castle. Yeah. Not, I had to explain to my mum, because I said to my mum rang me and I said, oh, we're in the castle with Max. She said, oh, so you see him when Nathan works? I said, no, he don't work here. This castle was built 1,000 years ago and has been knocked down 3 times. Nathan works in a much posher castle a little further down.
It's still standing.
Yeah, it's still standing. In fact, it is a school which is run and owned, I think it's by the Canadian.
I think so.
I think it's a
Very
Canadian school based here on the south coast, as far as I understand, and he manages all the catering there. So he works in a castle.
Yes.
He does.
We don't refer to it as Nathan's castle.
We do. Well,
why not?
Got to have somebody in the family with a castle, haven't it?
Oh, Lexi said, oh, is Max's dad a knight or a king to work in a castle? No, actually he's head of catering.
Which is a bit like being a knight.
Yes. You tend to get into lots of hard work and battling trying to get things sorted, but he gets it in the end.
Speaking of knights, wasn't that a cool set of chess that they've
Hello,
got
Javier.
on the streets
Yes, that
of
was very
Hastings?
useful. Because Max loves chess.
He does. He's
perfect.
Well, you saw him. We only just started to play, and Caroline filmed a little bit of it, and we just played until somebody took a piece because we didn't have time for a full game because he was getting quite hungry. But when all the moves he made, he knows all the moves on the board. And in fact, at one point that didn't come on the film, I thought the one piece was my queen, and I moved it down, and he says, Grandpa, you can't do that. I said, why can't I do that? He said, Grandpa, that's your king. It can only move one place. I said, oh, sorry, Max, I thought it was my queen.
Better than me. I haven't got a clue.
He goes, no, Grandpa, the other one is your queen, that's your king. So I got a 4-year-old telling me how to play chess, and I've been playing for 50 years, and I'm still getting it wrong.
Lexi said, king then, food is important to us here, especially on this chat, Lexi. I've only got to drop in the word chocolate and it just goes berserk. Speaking of the chat, I've just got this idea. I wonder what would happen. I know I got a 20-second delay. What would happen if everybody who can presses that little heart that now comes up on the chat? Let's see how many hearts we can get going off at the same time. So when I say, get yourself all ready and over your heart, and we go ready, steady, go. Let's see if we can see any more hearts. Oh, we got smiley faces coming. Hundreds. Oh, lovely. Look at all that. Oh, that's fun. Oh, I'm enjoying that. Oh, there you are. Simple pleasures for simple minds. I think that's lovely. Thank you ever so much, everybody, for all those smiles and hearts.
There we go.
It's looking really good. We have to do that more often.
Speaking of chocolate.
Chocolate? Oh, yes. Let's speak of chocolate.
At the moment, I am going to rate it as the best, at least, window display of a fudge shop that we've seen. I've seen fudge shops. There was a fudge shop in Teignmouth, wasn't there? But boy, oh boy, how we resisted, I don't know. But we did. We were very good. We filmed, but we did not eat.
No, but I was tempted.
But man, the fudge there looked absolutely awesome, didn't it? I'm not a big fudge eater, but I quite fancied. because I use those words that Caroline says can't go together. Too and sweet. Caroline thinks there is no such thing in the world as too sweet. She'll chew meringue. Too sweet. I'm not that
I had
sweet.
meringue from, I think it's Meringu, is it the way it's pronounced, when we were in Switzerland?
Yes.
The home of the meringue.
But in fairness, that particular fudge shop, it looked so appetizing. It did. It looked so tasty, didn't it? It really did.
Right,
cool.
Who was it? Somebody said they can't find no heart. Your Beata said you've got your computer, your live chat box. If you got pop out chat, I'll put my chat away a minute and see if it's still there. It's still there. So you got where you type. If you go just above that and on your right, you should see a circle with a heart in. If you press that, or if you run over it, up will come a list of a heart, a smile, things like that. So that should do it in theory. On the other hand, if you're on the TV,
somebody last week said they didn't have it, so it may.
All right, it may be.
It may not show up on some people's devices. You know, it may be on some things and not on others, not on phones. I don't know.
I know I've done it. I've lost all. Oh, there it is. Sorry about this. I tried looking at that and I've completely confused myself, which isn't difficult. Live chat. There we go. Oh, Javier said fudge with walnuts. Yum. They had a fudge with honeycomb. I quite fancied too.
Well, I like everything with raisins in, don't I? Unlike Max. Max doesn't follow me there. Max quite liked the idea of a hot cross bun. Because I think they'd come up on one of his little computer things with cookery.
He was playing, singing the song.
He was singing the song.
You know, the one a penny, two a penny?
Yeah, he was singing that, so he decided he'd like hot cross buns. The only problem was, I did find hot cross buns in July in Hastings, but when we bought them, he said, Grandpa, can we get the raisins out? And that was not on. That was not doable. There were far too many, so I had to eat it for him. Because I'm that kind of grandpa. I help. He wants a lolly. I don't like him seeing him eat on his own, so I had to have an ice cream, didn't I?
Oh, Jeannie. Hi, Jeannie. And Christina said peanut butter and chocolate fudge. Ooh, it's really, really bad for you, but it's really, really nice. Isn't it? It's not fair, is it? All the things that are really, really nice are bad for us.
Everything in moderation.
Yeah, how can you be moderate if you've got fudge in front of you?
Treats are not treats if you have them all the time. So that's why...
Phil's always been the sensible one.
That's why they're called treats. Or as I used to say to our 4 children when they were all in the car and I pulled up at the garage, don't forget, don't ask Dad for a treat when he pays for the petrol. Because if you ask Dad for a treat, I can't give you a treat, because a treat is never asked for. It's always given. So they used to sit quietly. Sometimes I could get them a treat, other times I couldn't. But they knew it couldn't be a treat if they asked, wasn't it? That was the golden rule. Yep. And I used to warn them because I knew as soon as I'd pull in, particularly like the youngest, they were very little, they'd say, can we have a treat, Dad? So I said, don't forget, don't ask. So they never asked.
Right, we need to have a question.
Do we?
We do.
Do we?
Yes.
I think we do.
There we go.
Now, as you may have noticed, Max and I played golf this time. Yes. Interesting to realise that the World Championship mini golf, crazy golf, takes place at Hastings each year and was actually played last month. It was in June. They played in June. So we weren't there for that, but we did have a go at the crazy golf. In fact, over the time we were there, we played on 2 of the 3 courses. So here is a crazy golf or miniature golf related question.
Now I'm just going to have to say sorry because my computer has just decided to go bananas. It updated just before we started the stream and I can't do anything with it now. And now I can't actually type.
Well, I can, so I'll put it in on
Well, then you put it in on yours then. So if you get it all ready...
Is it because the 2 of us are open? No, that shouldn't.
Now, Lexi was told, she who asks doesn't get, and she who doesn't ask doesn't want. You can't win then, can you? No, I don't like that saying.
Right then. So to make that go up, you just have to press that there, isn't it?
That's right.
So when you say go, I'll press the button. This should be fun. This is going to be a double act. Anyway, better give you a question before we say go. In the late 1920s, the owner of the Fairyland Inn Hotel decided to open a miniature golf course. The course had gnomes, hollow tree trunks, and other obstacles to entertain while you played. The idea soon caught on, and by 1930, so that's less than 10 years later, it was reported that there were how many mini golf courses throughout the United States? Was it A, 5,000, B, 15,000, or C, 25,000?
Go.
I nearly forgot to press it.
I've got no control over my computer at all now. So when it comes to the end, you may find the only way I can shut down this stream is I'm just going to have to pull all the plugs. So if it goes a bit weird at the end, you know what's happened. Stupid.
So,
and I don't want to restart my computer now, otherwise we lose the stream. So we'll just go with it.
The Fairyland Inn Hotel in the USA, it was actually based on a Never Netherland theme. And it had a golf course. So the proprietor had this brainwave to make a little golf course that complemented the theme of the Fairyland Hotel. And that was his idea. Until then, no one had done crazy golf, mini golf, obstacle golf, whatever they could want to call it. Nobody had done it until he did. But then he did that in the late 1920s, and by 1930 they were reporting how many across the United States. Do you think it was 5,000, 15,000 or 25,000? Right, we get to the top of the answers and see how we do. We got a lot of answers in, and everyone was after the go. Right then, let's have a look here. Let's see how the answers are doing.
I'm useless, good for nothing now, because I tried plugging in a different mouse and just nothing's working. So we may not even be able to have jingles.
Oh, can't have jingles. We can't have the photos then, can we?
I don't know. We'll see what we can do now.
We got photos to show.
Right, while Phil's looking, I'm just going to see if we can get photos.
Oh,
so
we may
never.
never. If we don't come back, bye.
No, we got no photos. Sorry, that's going to be a real nuisance, isn't it?
Oh well, we'll have to share them next week. And we got photos from last week to go up this week.
Oh well, sorry about that. Anybody who sent pictures in, my computer's gone bananas.
Yeah, because we do have pictures. We've got pictures from Katie and Oliver, which we had in last week, which you still haven't shown, of their adventures down in Understhea, where they got the bricks and things, and the garden. We've also got a picture from Lisa and Mike from the meet and greet with the first Hussars, and we've got a picture from Adam of the full page spread in the newspaper that he was in. So we'll have to show all those next week if the computer doesn't decide to work all by itself. But for now, let's give the podium positions, because in just a short few years, it went from 1 mini golf to 25,000 across the United States. People heard about it, opened it, and it was a winner. It was a winner. You can imagine. Nobody'd ever thought to do it, and suddenly they were printing money. Just get yourself some stuff, line it all up, get some sticks, and off to go.
I don't think they're sticks.
They're not sticks, are they? I'm not a professional.
So, do we know who's won yet?
We do. I'm going to tell you
I'm
now.
getting a bit distracted.
Yep. So we're looking for C. And the first C goes to Ed Creative.
Well done, Ed.
And the second C goes to Just Me, a.k.a. Mo.
Well done, Mo.
Because I know that because Mo put Mo in brackets at the end. Because Mo turns up as a different one every time.
Ed said total guess.
And then we're looking down,
and Minnie B said not sticks clubs. Thank you.
And here we go. The next one is, for the bronze, Rachel Bailey.
Well done, Rachel.
Who pipped to the post Liz Warren, because
nearly there, Liz.
They had C as well. But C was definitely not the most popular answer tonight. But it is quite surprising. From one guy's idea, a few years later, 25,000 of them. Now, it wasn't a brand new idea. Mini golf, it began, I believe, in Austria. I hope I haven't answered one of my own questions now, because I've done so much research in order to get the questions together. I can't remember what I used and what I don't. But I believe it began in Austria in the 1800s. That's when sort of it started. And they were around the world, but in the US, it was late 1920s, somebody decided to do it, and it seemed to work. And of course, late 1920s, 1930, we're talking the Great Depression. So any idea that could generate an income, you go for it. And they certainly did. Big style. So well done to the three of you. That's our first question done, and we've only used a third of the time.
I feel lost without my computer. I can't do anything. I'm completely armless now on my computer. I can't do anything. Annoying. So, let's... Well, I can't
put any pictures up.
I can't do a jingle
I
for
tell
Happy
you what,
News.
I will do a jingle for Happy News.
Go on, then. You do a jingle. And
I'll do a jingle, and Caroline will do Happy News. Happy, 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 happy news.
Oh, that was wonderful. I don't know why we bothered to write anything else. That would do.
There we go. That's my jingle.
Right.
It's the Happy News.
Now, I've got a person here, so sorry if I'm wrecking their name, but I'll do my best. And this is called Analog Photos Bring Healing in Our Digital World. Housed in a mobile caravan, a unique dark room has been travelling to villages along the Turkish and Syrian border since 2019. But this year it's turned to the cities at the epicentre of February's devastating earthquakes to help displaced children express themselves through art. This is a quotation. Analog photography is a healing process for children, says Sally, a Syrian refugee himself. Sorry, Sally, if I got that wrong. With digital, we can delete it, but analog offers the opportunity to learn and study. And when they see the result, the children start believing in themselves and understanding that photography doesn't have rules, that there is no bad or ugly photo. During the workshops, the children are given a camera to take home for a week and shoot whatever inspires them. One boy, as he watched the sun set over his village, said, "I felt peace inside me, so I took a photo." Back at the darkroom, Sally shows him how to develop the film, and the reaction is one of awe. "Is it magic? How are you doing that?" they ask in wonder, but Sally is equally amazed by the children. After he taught 9-year-old Dia to print a negative, she then placed the negative inside the enlarger, put her hand over it in order to print her hand with the negative. "During all my working life, I've never seen anyone do this," says Sally. "It's really creative, so now I'm planning an exhibition on negatives. I'm motivated to continue because of the results I see," he says. "As adults, we cannot see what children see. They notice the details of life we've stopped seeing. They use their imaginations and layer it with reality." Isn't that a wonderful way to get the children? I suppose at some point they must feel a little bit of despair. You bring something like photography into their lives and it must open up the world. They stop looking in their situation and their circumstances and they're looking for things to take photos of, and they're looking into the wider world, and probably really is doing them a lot of good. There's a lot of therapy in that.
That's what struck me with the story is these children will have seen digital cameras. They will have possibly at some point in their life before they got displaced and all these terrible things happened with the earthquakes, will have been taking selfies. And they see no magic in a selfie. Well, the phone does it. But when they stood in when they waited in the dark room and saw the picture slowly emerge, they thought it was just magic.
Well, when I went to college, I was in my 40s when I went to college to learn photography and digital imaging, and I was like, "Oh wow, this is wonderful." And we were only developing black and white, but I loved it. It was really like alchemy. I thought it was fabulous. It was one of my favourite things to do, was developing my negatives.
Yeah, and that's where I found that, and the fact...
One of my hairs on your jumper.
And the fact that this gentleman was displaced by the war in Syria, found himself a refugee inside Turkey on the border, and he gets an old caravan. The skill he has is as a photographer. He sets up as a dark room, and until the earthquake happened, he was going along the border and trying to help the children who were displaced, who were living over here. But then when this happened, he turned into the cities. And the fact that a man who's lost everything, probably, then turns round and decides that he wants to give something. He wants to do something. And I was just struck by it. I would never have imagined that going back to old technology could be so beneficial to children and to people, to young people today. But of course, to us, darkrooms, taking photos and sending the reel off and waiting for it to come back, to us, it's all old hat and boring and expensive and time consuming, and we love the instant. But to the children who've been brought up on instant,
First time you see that image appearing on a white sheet of paper, it's like, ooh, look at that.
yeah, it's the process. And as Caroline said, probably does a lot of healing for them as it slows the world down and just lets them feel they're in control of something.
Hello, Dee.
Rightio.
Right.
Now, just to mention, because we don't have pictures to put up tonight, but over on the Facebook group, one picture that came in this week, which I thought was absolutely brilliant, was a picture of Bonnie Tyler fan 34.
And you'll never guess who she was with.
Well, I now know her name is Brittany, because Brittany put up the picture, and it was a picture, and I had to look twice to figure out which one was which one, because she was with
Bonnie Tyler.
Bonnie Tyler.
Wow.
Yes, she had her own meetup with Bonnie Tyler and had a picture took.
Yeah, she'd obviously found her way back from France at that point.
And
if you're a Bonnie Tyler fan, you'll know what I mean.
Yeah, so there we go. Bonnie Tyler is over there on the Facebook page with number 34 fan. So that was one of the pictures that come in. And also, our Lexi has given a new name to one of our other members of the group, because Stephen posted another video of the ducks, and Lexi liked the picture, and she has now christened Stephen as the Duck Whisperer. Because he was saying how the ducks, when there's lots of people there, the ducks stay right over the other side. They won't cross the river. When he's there on his own, they come across.
I wonder if there's money to be made on that. I bet you'd be the first in the country.
And that wasn't the only animal photo, because Will put up pictures. Will Warford put up pics of Mr. Coyote. So we've had coyote pictures, duck pictures.
Ooh, it's all going on over there.
Yeah, so I love it. There's such a mixed bag of stuff. And in fact, Mike and Lisa, Mike Sage, who is not with us tonight, if he was, then we would be seeing his name, I know, flying up in the quiz, because he is quite the quiz master these days.
Very enthusiastic.
He is, he's very good. But Mike and Lisa today are at a meet and greet, as I mentioned earlier, with the first two Zars. And they are there as volunteers. And we do have a great picture, which we can't put up because Caroline's computer is frozen, of Mike with a couple of the others at the kit table there in the meet and greet.
We'll try again, but I don't think it's going to work.
No, I don't think so. I think less you press, the less chance of us dying before the end of the hour. But they've also posted quite a number of pictures, a series of pictures of their latest adventure. They've got pictures of, I've made a note here, Cabot Trail, Hopewell Rocks, Grosmont Park, Cake and a Cuppa in Quebec City. Pair of them enjoying some nice cakes and cuppas there. And this was the one I thought was amazing, because we don't see this sort of thing on our coast. Icebergs floating by.
Although sometimes it feels like in Barry Island. If anybody's ever been to Barry Island, you'll know what I mean.
Sometimes it feels cold enough for an iceberg. But yeah, so some amazing pictures. So if there's anyone out there who hasn't joined the group, feel free to join. But it's lovely. And again, I want to thank everyone for contributing. And not just those who put up images and stories and pictures, but all the lovely comments underneath. All the lovely likes. I put up a picture of me and Max, and I think we had 60 views. We had 40 responses, and we had half a dozen comments. It's lovely when people put. I think lovely, it makes people. Well, she and it's very lovely. Very lovely. It's lovely. Lovely it is. Aye, lovely man.
Aye, you bet.
Isn't it? So it's lovely though, because I think it's nice to have that sense of community. And as I say, subject matter doesn't matter. It's just share the things that make you happy. Well, yeah, obviously. Well, as well as the lilies, Ellen put up a picture that she'd seen of creations of teapots turned into birdhouses, which she thought might be a nice idea for me, where she knows we've got the birdhouses in the garden, and we've got the garden, and I've got the teapots. It's just getting the time to put them all together.
It's like Elizabeth is saying on here that she doesn't get time for a photography hobby. I've got so many hobbies, and I just wish there were more hours in the day. And at the moment, I've started making a scrappy patchwork quilt, and it's terrible. I can just go into my study and my studio, and I could be in there for hours. I have to watch the time. But then I got all these other things I want to be doing as well. So one day I'll be able to just sit down and do crafting from first thing in the morning to last thing in the night.
Why not?
You'd be a crafting widow then instead of being a golfing widow.
Yeah, when we get to retire, dear, we'll be able to do that. Right, would you like another question? Seems we're halfway through. Do you think that would be good?
Okay, question jingle.
Right, question jingle. Here we go.
Oh yes, Manky does this, doesn't he?
He does this. Here we go. Question jingle. It's question time. There we go. Well done, Manky.
Oh, hello, Charlotte.
Right then. And I'll write go when you're ready.
Right. Oh, he's getting so technical. He's printing
know.
the word go now.
I know. I tell you what, I don't normally do this much technical stuff.
Catherine's so Caroline, we're two of a kind. I'm a craft addict. Oh, it's just so much fun, isn't it? And the thing is then, you've got all these boring grown-up things that you're supposed to do, like laundry and hoovering and cooking. I'm like, I'd rather just make things all day. I need a maid. I think that everybody, when they reach 50, should be given a maid who does everything and then they can just play for the rest of their lives. I'd like that.
Well, if I ever get to the point I can retire, dear, I'll be your maid.
Okay.
And then you can make craft. How's that?
Oh, Bonnie Tyler fan said, I'm trying so hard not to get another hobby, but I have 2 new ones that are calling my name. I'm like that. I'll see something and think, oh, I really, really have to try that. So at the moment, I got lace I'm trying to learn, bobby lace. I'm doing my patchwork quilt. I'm trying to run my craft channel, and I love making all the crafts. It's Christmas in July. I'm trying to think, I've got loads of things in the pipeline, so I've got to control myself.
Right then, let's get this question done. Ye old pump house
Your bump house.
isn't as old as it looks. And it's only been a pub since 1956. It seems that there was a building there, and it wasn't a Tudor building.
Sorry, Ruthie said, I'm actually crafting now.
It wasn't a Tudor building. If you look it up online, you'll see this old building that was there.
No, beautiful, no.
Now, but previously, it got hit in the war, indirect, bomb, got damaged. Somehow, a mistake was made at the council, and the owner was told that as it was an ancient monument, which it was not, it was a grade 2 listed property because all that street is, because it's the old town. But because it was a what do they call it? An ancient monument, it had to be repaired, rebuilt and repurposed. So he took it to art, didn't he? He completely Tudorified it. He made it look about 500 years old.
He's done a brilliant job.
Then he opened his pub and advertised it as, in the yard is the pump and well that is said to have been used
which covers a multitude of sins
by the local population.
Not last week.
Which is why he called it Ye Old Pump House, and he opened it in 1956 and called it Ye Old Pump House. So you got to give it to the guy. This is what's called sort of mid-century modern. What are we doing?
I'm going to put some laughing heads on because I can. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, she's playing with my computer now because hers is broke.
Well, if you can see laughing heads, that's me.
So the question is, prior to it being a pub in 1956, it was 3 properties. There were houses at the back as you filmed. But what was the business up front before it became a pub? It was well-known local shop. Was it A, ironmongers? Or was it B, a shoe shop? Or was it C, a bakery?
Go. There we go.
Look,
I'm working on 2 computers.
I've lost my computer.
I'm like I'm at NASA.
What do you think, folks? Do you think it was A, an ironmongers, B, a shoe shop, or C, a bakery before the gentleman turned it into Ye Old Pump House? And I have heard...
Have you?
From people who know...
From people who know?
That there's good food in there.
Is there?
And I said, well, we didn't have the chance to go inside this time, but when we're up and Max is in school, perhaps we popped out.
Yes. Because at the moment, Max, if we do take him out, there's a soft play area in Brewers Fair. Yeah. And that's the only place he wants to go. Well, they are McDonald's because they've got a big table with this like light game, and they don't know, it's just projected down onto the table, and they play it by moving their hands under the lights, and he loves that as well.
Yeah.
But sitting down and just eating a meal is not Max's thing. Not a four.
My favourite place to take Max for food is to Brewers Fair. Because so far we've been there 3 times when we've been to Hastings, and each time the same table is available. We're sat here, there's a glass panel there, we look through and there's Max playing on the slides, climbing on the ropes, having a great time.
Usually running the show. He's such a shy child.
Yeah.
As you can tell by the videos. He's very confident.
But yeah, it was Mark and Julie was saying they serve lovely food there. Of course, we've met Mark and Julie when we've met in the past. Lovely couple. We've made videos with them.
Oh, hello, Adam.
And they've also been to Wales.
We did have your picture ready to show of you in the newspaper, but my computer's gone bonkers. So
we can't.
No jingles, no pictures. We're stuck.
But we will be putting it up. So congratulations on being a superstar. You've always been a star, Adam, but you're now a superstar with a full page spread.
Lixie said you got a posh McDonald's down there then. Well, it's got 3 computer pad things, but the kids have completely trashed them now.
Those.
They've had to put something across to stop you using it because they're made for little children, and the older children get on and they get a bit rowdy. So they tend to break things. But the table thing is really good, and 6 children can sit round and all play racing and things. I'm not sure what exactly. So that's a nice touch. We haven't got that in ours, in our local one.
Just to say, yes, Beata, and I'll email you after the show. I've got my schedule now because I get it. I know 1 week ahead. So I'm all right for next week, and I can let you know after the show. Okie doke? Yeah. I'll send you an email, Kate.
So yeah, if you're commenting now, I can't even go up my chat. So if I see anything, I can't. When time's finish speaking, I'm not going to be able to go back to it. Just so you know, I'm not ignoring people. I'm stuck. I've forgotten who said what by the time it's gone. Right then, so we need another question. No, we don't. We need an answer.
We need an answer. I tell you.
Me.
It's all right.
I'll just go on into bed.
I asked the question 6 minutes ago, so quite understandable. By now we should have been another one, but we've been all talking. So let's have a look. What is the popular answer today? Are we going ironmonger, shoe shop or bakery? Because I can see quite a few people got the answer right. It was a shoe shop. It was a boot and shoe shop, folks. A boot and shoes. And the first correct answer is Mini Beast 283.
Mini Beast.
Second correct answer is the lady with the B, Lexi B.
Well done, Lexi.
And he's up again. Ed Creative's taking the third podium. There we go. So the top 3 answers, Mini Beast, Lexi and Ed. Yeah, it was a very well-known boot and shoe shop run by 2 brothers. Sounds like Clark's all over again.
Does. Oh, bye, Laura. Hope you're cooking something nice. Let us know if you come back.
Yeah. Bye, Laura. So there we go. Luckily, I can go up and down in mine, otherwise we could never know who got the first answers in.
No, we would be stuck, wouldn't we?
Oh, another picture that came in on the Facebook group this week as well was of Michelle Grady. And that was of the gazebo in the garden with all the lights
very
on.
Nice.
Gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful picture, that.
Minnie B said, nice. I knew B would be correct at one point. It's always worth it.
Yeah, Lexi kind of likes B being a Lexi B, so she goes for it quite often as well, I have noticed.
Hello, Richard.
And shall we do my happy news?
Yeah, go on then. So you're going to do a happy news jingle for us again?
I'll have to, won't I?
Brace yourselves, everyone.
Happy news. Here we go. Happy news. And the reason I remember to do my happy news is I just mentioned Michelle Grady and the beautiful gazebo, which was the place that they were married some years ago at the gazebo. Absolutely nice. Gorgeous. And it's some happy news from Michelle. And please, anyone, feel free if you see some really happy news. It hasn't got to be headline news, because this, I believe, is a post that came up on Michelle's Facebook or something, because this is someone she knows, Scott Patton. And he posted this account. He says, Bashir wrestled with my son Nick. Now, this is semi-professional wrestling at school and in the club. He's an Afghan refugee. The things this kid has seen through the atrocities of his home country are incomprehensible. Nevertheless, he still has a positive attitude, and he's the best wrestler in the state at his weight and class. But at the end of the season, he was unfairly disqualified prior to the districts, which made him ineligible for the Florida State Championships. That must have been so gutting for this young man who was trying to make something of himself and build a life for himself. Then a coach at Newbury College in South Carolina heard the story and wanted to give Bashir a shot. Bashir urgently needed to get to South Carolina, and since his sister is the only one who speaks English, she needed to go with him. So Scott writes, I offered to buy them both a ticket for the flight, but she couldn't go, as she'd had an amazing job offer, which meant she'd be able to provide for her family. Bashir is the kindest and most respectful kid you can imagine. And I know if 99.9% of the people I hang out with were in my shoes, you would take care of the business. That's why I hang out with you. So off we go to Newbury College, meeting in the wrestling room, coach and wrestlers early tomorrow, then a tour of the college. So there we go. Scott got on the plane, took Bashir. He's got his chance, which must mean the world to him. But it shows what a lovely young man this young Afghan refugee is, to have won over the heart of this chap to the point that he would set everything aside, get on a plane, fly down to South Carolina to give this lad the chance to get what he feels he deserves. He thinks he's good enough, and he knows he's got the temperament and the personality and the character, and he didn't want him to miss his chance. So I thought that was lovely. Thank you for sending that through, Michelle.
Thank you.
I hope it's warmed your hearts as much as it did mine when I read the account.
Right, before I've written this down in case it gone up the page, but it hasn't. Linda said about the Facebook page. Thank you, Phyllis. Very good explanation. Just click on join, and then you can post whatever you like. As I say, within reason. But yeah, it's as easy as that. There's very few limitations other than the ones Facebook will put on you. I don't know what they would be. I've never crossed them, so I don't know.
Yeah, if you
so Linda has joined. We just go to the top of the page, and they should be the I'm not sure what they say, like, do you want to add, what have you got to say, or something like that, and just start typing. That is as long as you're on the group, not the page.
Yeah.
If you haven't got that box, then let us know, and we'll give you the link, or somebody can give you the link over to the page, because you can't actually post, I don't think, on the... You can't post on the page, but you can post on the group. So we don't bother with the page, but as usual, I can't shut it down. They won't let me close things down. So if you can't type, then...
I'm just approving Adam Gates.
Oh, they are Adam
Gates. And I'm approving Terry Collins.
Right, so if you...
So they're
so
both
you
in.
haven't applied to us then, have you? Not on Let's Go With It. I don't think you're in there. So can you put a link up on the chat? I'll get Phil will put a link up
Is
to
that
our
this
group.
year?
Yeah. And then if you click on that, it'll take you there. Right then. Ed said, remember I had a problem with my keyboard a while ago. I had to download a new driver for it after Windows updated. Might be what you need. Oh, that'd be all I need, wouldn't it? Oh, thank you, Ed. My computer's dying anyway, so I don't know if I would bother upgrade anything on it. I'd probably just replace it, because I haven't been able to close the lid for years. This is my computer. I'll show you this. You'll enjoy this for a laugh.
Yeah, Lexi, Adam is approved, as was the school I went to as a lad.
I'll show you there. Can you see how...
It doesn't shut.
It doesn't shut, and every now and again it goes clunk and the bottom nearly falls off.
Yeah.
So
when we travel, if we do, for instance, if we were doing a live show, if we had to be in Hastings over the weekend, and we could do a live show then because we can use my son's internet, I have a special large bag for life with long handles, and we drop the computer into it, and we carry. That's how we carry Caroline's laptop, because it can't shut.
Well, all it needs is this little hinge, and if you have it fixed by PC World, they won't just do the hinge in case the screen has been damaged when the hinge wasn't working. So they charge you £350 for the screen, as well as the £2 or £3 for the hinge.
It's been like that for 2 years now, and it's still going.
I'm not going to pay £350 for a new screen when there is nothing wrong with my screen. It's not cracked, it's not warped. So I just use it as it is. But
There we
if
go.
things keep dropping off, I'll have to replace it.
Both I and Phyllis have now put up links to it, so the
brilliant.
links are up.
No, Bonnie sent a request too, apparently. So I don't know if you can go on and sort that. And then...
Hang on, let's have a look, because we're now up to... Let's have a look here. Let's have a look here.
Oh.
Like this.
Live as it happens. Have we got any more requests?
Yeah.
We got... Yep.
Bonnie,
you're now approved, and Peggy's approved. There we go. So, we're growing all the time. Right, we really need to have another question.
We now have 75 members in the group.
Oh, and the more the merrier. There's more chat going on then. And as I think I've said this before, I'd love it to be to the level where if you're feeling lonely, you can pop over to the Facebook group and there'll always be somebody within half an hour replying to you. And it just gives us a sense of carrying on the live chat over on the Facebook group. And eventually we'll have so many people that there'll always be somebody on there. So if you want to chat, there's somebody there. Right then,
so would you like...
Lexi said 350, might as well buy a new laptop at that price. Does PC World also carry a bag marked swagger with a striped jumper? They should do, shouldn't they? Right. Minnie Beast will join as soon as she remembers her password. I'm dreadful with passwords. Anne said the same thing. No, that's talking to Beata. Oh well, I can't check that because I can't move my screen.
Right, we've now got more coming in.
Right.
Jeannie Nash, just been approved. Elizabeth Robson-Burley, just been approved.
Lexi said, don't let my mother into the group. She got banned from some local community groups for being outspoken. I'm sure she'd behave herself.
And Home Crafty, just been approved.
There we go.
So now we're up to 78. Gosh, it's going wild, yeah. Right then. Right. Shall we do another question? Righty-o.
Yeah.
Hang on, come on, Manky. You ready for this, Manky? Okay. He said Panty wants to have a go.
Right.
Here we go. Question time!
Oh, wasn't that wonderfully done?
There we go. Like to share things out. Okay, folks. Our questions have gone.
Oh, I turned... You said that?
No.
I've lost the questions. Here they are.
Oh my gosh, you can't... She takes over my computer. She takes my questions and puts them on the settee. What's this?
Efficient.
Funiculars became very popular in the UK on the seaside resorts during the Victorian period. I hope you all enjoyed the ride on the funicular.
We did. It was wonderful.
We did.
It didn't really go that fast. I sped it up because it was a bit boring. When you're in it, you're enjoying the experience. When you're watching it on TV, it's like...
Caroline's always conscious of people watching. She goes, right, I'm going to have to make this go faster.
You're always 3 seconds away from somebody going, oh, that's boring, and clicking off. So I try to keep that in mind.
If you go to Hastings, do not complain that the funicular is going too slow. It's never gone quite that quick. Anyway, they were very popular in Victorian times because they drew a crowd. But where was the first funicular operated? Was it in A, Austria, B, Norway, or C, Switzerland?
Go. Oh, there we go.
Which do you think?
Dar said most professional stream on YouTube. That doesn't say a lot for YouTube, does it? I can't even give you a jingle.
I looked down and all I got is me scrap of paper with all of my where Manky was on.
Now somebody's going to take a screenshot, blow it up, and they'll know all the answers.
If they can read that, they deserve the prize. And there isn't one anyway. It's just for glory.
For glory, yes.
Yeah, they're just playing for glory. Right.
But I'll tell you, talk about suffering for your art. When we were in the Crazy Golf, the cannons all around the boat had already gone off once. And I thought, I'm at a distance, you couldn't really see it. So next time I decided I was going to go right up to the fence. I should have guessed because the floor was wet. I got absolutely soaked. Max thought it was very entertaining to see Granny get half drowned.
Can I just say, Lexi, the only reason I still have my chair is because I'm sat on it. So basically the principle in this double act, which Richard's enjoying, he says we're a great double act. The only principle that works here is if I don't want Caroline to nick it, I need to sit on it. She's taken over.
You could start a discussion here now.
No,
how come in my studio, I have things in there and I say, if you don't bring that back when you finish with it, I will break your fingers.
Yeah, I get threatened.
I lose my drill bits, drill.
If I was a child, I could phone Esther Ranson's line and they'd come and help me.
You're all on your own now.
I am. Where's child line when you're 62 and your wife's threatening to break your fingers? I
can never find pens, scissors,
I
anything
am
like
terrible.
that. Yes.
It was a nightmare when I worked underground. I worked on a coal face, for goodness sake, a mile underground, mile and a half of tunnels to walk through, on a coal face. I was a fitter with a bag of tools. It took longer to find my tools by the time I finished the job than it did to fix the blooming machine. And I invariably lost things. I was always in the stores trying to beg another spanner. At one point, I was going around with an hammer, a chisel and a shifters. By the end of my apprenticeship, I had lost so many tools. We went to Splot Sunday morning market and I bought a big shifting spanner. And that's all I had to work with. I was newly qualified. They'd given me this 500 quid kit of tools when I started, and I had a shifters that cost me £3, was it? And it was made in China, and the company was called Elephant.
Yep, and it lasted.
I've still got it.
I don't know where it is now.
It's up in the garage. It's up in the garage. I still got it. 40 years I've had that.
Yep. Richard said, have you both got a cupboard of the other things? No, Phil hasn't
lose
got
them.
any of his things because he's lost them, and he hasn't got any of my things because he's lost those too. He just loses them. They get eaten by a monster somewhere.
Every year, people would buy me drill sets and screwdriver sets because they knew by next year I'd have lost them all. Caroline has her screwdriver set and they're still all there.
They are, all the drill bits are there.
And if there
only because I have to chase Phil to get them. Where's my drill bit?
If they're not all there, it's because I've borrowed one. Okay, let's find out. Do you think the first funicular system went in Austria, Norway or Switzerland? Well, we've got a variety of answers. People seem to be going for...
The answer is yes, Lexi.
Right. First answer in is correct. It was Austria. So, Judy Erickson, you've got
done, Judy.
Oh, our Adam's in and he's taken the silver.
Well done, Adam.
There we go. Our newspaper star. And then I've got to go down a few because there's quite a few people went B. And then Tina Thompson. You've got the next A and you just picked Beata to the post because we had A from Beata as well. So it's Judy, Adam and Tina.
Well done, Tina.
There we go. Excellent. Very good indeed.
Dal said, I hope you guys help out on the local Easter egg hunt. Well, that would be no use at all because Phil would lose the Easter eggs before he hid the Easter eggs and the children would never find any. And he'd say, well, you're not very good at looking. And they would probably be in the boot of the car and he forgot to take them out.
I've always been terrible for misplacing things. And I'm also one of those people who survives in clutter. Caroline, I use this phrase all the time in my job, opposites attract, and I see it over and over again. And we are living proof of it, because Caroline is a minimalist and I am a clutterbug.
Well, we've got a bedside cabinet either side of the bed. My bedside cabinet has a book and a lamp and a glass of water sometimes. Phil's has receipts, change, bags that you get, and plastic glove things you get to get the diesel from the petrol station. Little notes like this now will get put there, and there'll be a pile of notes. What else have you got on there?
Anything that comes out of my pocket. A couple of pipe stems.
Yeah, occasionally I have to say, Phil, you've got to reduce this because it's starting to get so high. Yeah. It's dangerous to walk past.
When it gets to the point that Caroline walking past causes an earth tremor that makes it all slide on the floor, then I have to sort it out. But I've got this aversion to throwing things away. I'm always frightened because I'm so absent-minded. I'll throw away something that I need. So I tend to hang on to everything.
Everything. Empty packets.
Everything. If I ever empty my pockets, because Caroline wants to chuck something in the wash, it goes onto my bedside cabinet. And I'm very afraid of throwing something away, so I don't throw anything away.
Richard said, Phil has the same bedside table as me then, minus the petrol gloves. If it wasn't for that, it is so shameful. I would take a picture of both bedside cabinets and show you the difference.
They
But I
believe
just couldn't. It is bad.
They've seen my shed.
It's similar to the shed.
Yeah, my shed that's my domain, and that's why I can't get in there.
Well, it's funny, even when we first got married, it was a time when we used sheets and blankets. Now everybody uses duvets. And I would get up in the morning, and my side of the bed, I would open it, get out, shut it, and it'd be all neat. Phil's pillowcase would be hanging off his pillow, his quilt and everything was down the bottom, all the sheet was off the mattress. I don't know how you did it.
I'm an ethicopathologist.
That's what you are.
Indeed.
Lexi said hoarding is a recognised psychological condition.
Yeah, it probably is. And I'm probably a recognised psychological case. I would probably entertain a psychologist for hours.
Oh, yes.
No, I don't know why.
They'd probably cry if they had to try to analyse you.
But you know what? I think one of the greatest lessons we can learn in life is that none of us see anything the same. And none of us think the same way. None of us. We all grow up, and even as adults, it took me years before I realised that Caroline, her brain is completely different to mine. I must have been...
He's going to be very non-committal here in case I hit him over the head with something.
I must have been in my 50s before I realised that everybody else is seeing things when they think and I'm not. You know, I didn't know. I thought everybody, and that's why I couldn't understand why other people were cleverer than me, because they had greater retention. But if I had images, I could retain so much more. As it is, like I keep telling people, most people work on Windows and my brain's working on DOS. There's no images. So it took years to realise none of us think the same. And that's why when we wonder, well, why don't they see it? It's because they're not me. So I will always see it different. My life experience, who I am, everything about me, the way I was brought up, will make me see it differently. So we just have to accept one another, and then together we can get a better vision of what's really going on. Now that's enough deep philosophical stuff, because you'll just start laughing at me. Anyway,
Me?
we've got...
As Miss Piggy would say, moi?
Moi? We've got 3 minutes,
Oh.
so shall I ask the penultimate question?
Go on, you better had.
They're sharing it out tonight. Here we go. It's Lexi's little pandas coming in. It's question time. Enough of all this frivolity. Okay, Caroline.
Oh, Oliver said he loves your shed.
Oh, that's good. Is Oliver a clutterbug like me, or is he a nice tidy person?
What about you, Oliver? Are you neat or are you messy?
Got a very neat garden. If I could have
Yes.
shown the picture, you'd see his neat garden. Okay, Caroline saw a very large vase in a shop window.
It was enormous.
I'd say it was the best part of 10 foot tall. But the tallest vase in the world is over double that size, stands at approximately 22 feet high. Simple question, where would you find that vase? Is it in A, China, B, Japan, or C, Taiwan?
Go. Go anyway, because Phil hasn't even typed it in. Oh, this is a shambles tonight. Oh, there we go. We got to go. But Lexi was already in with China. So if she's right, we'll count that one.
We will, because you did
it's
say go.
our completely disorganised and messy stream today.
Who's disorganised?
I can't possibly imagine.
I just forgot to write go, because I was being philosophical and saying...
Still got a dead mouse. Well, it's not a mouse is dead. It's some things will move, but...
It's got to be to do with OBS.
I don't think
if you reload it, it might work, but you didn't reload it.
I think I need to restart the computer. I always get some sort of problem when I see it coming up. Restart your computer, and I'm like, oh, not now. I need to do a live show, or I need to edit, and you're going to be hitting problems. I did schedule it to always do it at like 2 o'clock in the morning, but I don't know what's gone wrong. It does it when it feels like now. Right, so do we have a winner? Because time is getting on.
Wow.
You have 1 minute to ask a question, and it's that big important one.
Which is going to be debatable again, I dare say.
I'm sure Ribbles Finds will know exactly how many times Manky was seen.
The good news is we do have a winner.
That's always good.
In fact, we have first, second and third.
Right.
But they are few and far between, because the answer is Taiwan. That's where it was. It's in Taiwan. Now, I knew we'd catch a lot of people out with China and Japan, and we did. But we did not catch out. Let's have a look. Make sure I've got... Yeah. The very first one to come in was the 7th answer, and that's from Javier.
Javier?
Yeah.
Right, well done,
Javier
Javier.
Garcia. And then the next one is Ribble Finds and Crafts.
Well done, Ribble Finds and Crafts.
And then I've got to wind down to find Kate and Oliver.
Well done, Kate and Oliver.
There we go. So that's gold for Javier. Ribble Finds have got silver, and we've got a bronze third place podium for
Kate and Oliver.
There we go.
Oh, there go some hearts and things again. I love this. It's great fun. I can't join in, but I can watch. Right then, so we've now got that question coming up.
Yes.
You know the question.
It's 10 o'clock.
The one that is never completely definitive.
How many times did you...
Have you got your goal ready?
How many times did you see Manky this week in the show? Do you think... I'll give you 3 answers, but I dare say there'll be some disputes. It was A8, B10 or C12. Go. What are you thinking, folks?
Right. Ooh. So we've got 9, 7, 9, 8, 7, 7, 8, 6 or 7. 87. A. 9, 5, A. Something. Ooh, it's going too quickly. We've got an exclamation mark and an at from Jeannie. Right, we've got A's, 8s, B's, 9s. We've got 10 to 13. Jeannie's, I've got my glasses on. So look, this is Jeannie 20, Judy 8, Ed 12. Ribble Finds and Craft, maybe 8 or 9 with these extra ones. 350 Shadow, 18 to 20 minutes. Was Phil holding Manky up and waving? Yes, the debate is, does a shot from a different angle count as a separate sighting?
Ooh, I tell you.
Tend to be like in one scene, so because if we filmed it and then it looks like a different angle, but it's just usually a camera join, and so if I've got a piece of footage with Manky on, we generally treat that as one, but I suppose it can be a little bit awkward, can't it? We've really got to make Manky sort himself out and be more precise in where he appears. Tends to be a bit all over the place. He's just running around saying, film me over here, film me over here. It's very excitable. Beata said I was going to put 7, but then you said 8. Right, so.
Right then. This is where it gets complicated. Because the answer I've highlighted is 8. Now that would be because Ribble Finds has got 7. Ribble Finds and Crafts got 7.
Right.
And they've got the same as myself, except on one point. He was on at the beginning, on the intro, by the golf. Then he was stood by the hall. Then he was at the ticket booth. Now here's the issue. In the funicular, I went back and watched it half a dozen times, and there was a small reflection of Manky at one point.
Which wasn't intended.
And people were asking about it, so I counted it in. Then there was in the bush behind the bench. Then there was the alcove in the castle. And then there was the dungeon. Now...
Did you hear Max telling Manky, saying, you'll get stuck in there? He's convinced Max, Manky is real. It's great fun.
Just wondering, because a few people have got 9. Now, this is where it gets complicated.
Now Phil, it's just because it's going to go off my screen. In one scene, Manky was in the scene with Phil. The camera moved away. Then Manky was back in the scene. Is that 1 or 2 sightings?
That's a very good question. I suppose if it's the same scene, he's in the same place, then it's 1 sighting.
Yeah, we'll go for 1 sighting.
Yeah. But if you view it carefully, when I did the piece to camera walking to the golf, Caroline is holding Max's hand, walking about 50 yards behind, and she has Manky in her hand.
Kate spotted it. Yeah. I was like, oh, there he is.
Yeah, so Kate would have been one of those who's gone 9, is it?
Yep. So that Manky, he is just so excitable. We have to calm him down. But then again, we wouldn't have half as much fun if it was obvious and it was just like 2 sightings and they were very sensible. Right then,
but Kate went 8 because we didn't give the 9th option.
Oh, right. Oh, okay.
So she may not have seen the reflection. And, and as I get into the...
Linda counted 5 before she fell asleep.
As I get into the carriage to go up the funicular and turn to sit down, Manky's ear and part of his head does appear on screen. So there was a potential for 10. There was an official 7, but the reflection won the day, so we're going with 8. So I'll say, on the other hand, see if people are saying 9 and they've probably spotted one of the others. So it gets complicated.
I tell you what if we give a top... anybody who got 8 and 9 gets a special award anyway.
Okay, we're going to give special mentions to... We're going to give a first golds, silver and bronze are going to P. Mitch, Mini Beast and Peggy Reed.
Well done to you.
And then we're going to go down for the 8s, which will be Rachel, Bailey, 87? How many? Richard, what were you watching? And I'm lost now, aren't I? 8s.
Richard says, if you got a number below 15, you get a caravan. Yeah, we go with that one. And then said everyone wins in the end.
Yeah, and Kate and Elizabeth and Javier and Beata, they all got 8.
Yeah, so well done to you if you got 8.
But it was chaos because, as I mentioned in one of the comments when I was replying, Manky took full advantage of the fact he knew we were distracted.
Yes.
He knew we had trying to look after a panda and a grandchild who's 4.
And Manky is difficult enough. When you put a 4-year-old as well, we just didn't know where we were, and we didn't leave Max and both do anything. So one of us was always with Max or keeping an eye on him. So it was very interesting, challenging.
Goodness knows where we'll be this week. Goodness knows what we'll be doing, and goodness knows what Max will be doing because he's not here.
No. He's in Germany.
He'll be in Germany, so we should have time to keep an eye on Manky and get some grip on his appearances.
In theory.
In theory. But whatever happens, folks, thanks for being with us.
Yes, it's been wonderful, and thank you for all the chat. I've been thoroughly enjoying it. Sorry I can't interact or do anything. But I'll see if I can fix my computer now when we go. And we'll see you all next time. But until then, don't forget...
Have fun. Bye.
And now I'm going to try and stop the stream.
It won't stop. It won't stop. We could be here forever, like Groundhog.